Today we are going to be discussing the forces an airplane experiences during flight, as well as how to control an airplane. These forces are fundamental to all flying vehicles and provide the foundation for how aircraft are able to fly. The first force we must consider is lift. Lift is the upward force generated by the wings. Lift is offset by the next force, the weight of the aircraft. The difference between these forces determines how high in the air the plane stays. If lift is greater than weight, the plane rises. However, if lift is less than weight, the plane will fall. The next force to consider is drag. Drag is caused by friction between the plane and the air molecules and acts to slow the plane down. Drag is offset by the final force, thrust. Thrust is the force created by the engines which pushes the plane forward. These four forces represent a simplified version of what happens during flight. Now that we understand the forces that contribute to flight, let's take a look at how aircraft are controlled. We change the direction in which planes fly using what are called control surfaces. These are essentially hinged surfaces that are used to redirect the flow of air around the plane. The first control surface we'll talk about is the rudder. The rudder is located on the back section of the plane and allows the plane to turn to the left and the right. If a pilot wants to fly to the right, they will deflect the rudder to the right. And if they want to fly to the left, they will deflect it to the left. The elevators are also located near the back of the plane on a piece called the horizontal tail. The elevators change the pitch of the plane by tipping it up or down. The flaps are located on the wings near the body of the plane. By changing how far the flaps are deflected, a pilot can change both the lift and the drag of the aircraft. The flaps are most commonly used in order to provide more lift on takeoff and landing. Finally, the ailerons are located on the tips of the wing and control how the plane rolls. By deflecting the ailerons in different directions, a pilot can cause the aircraft to tilt to the left or right while still flying straight. By manipulating all of these control surfaces, a pilot is able to maneuver an aircraft in order to achieve stable flight. Additionally, sometimes a pilot will be required to use multiple control surfaces at once. For example, when turning an aircraft, a pilot not only deflects the rudder, but also deflects the ailerons in order to bank into the turn rather than turning sharply. While this may seem complex at first, it is easy to understand with practice. You can do this at home by building paper airplanes and attempting to control the direction in which they fly. Now we will walk through a simple activity that demonstrates the control surfaces of an airplane by building paper airplanes. All you will need for this activity is a sheet of paper and some scissors. By creating a rudder and ailerons, we will be able to control which direction the plane will fly. Throughout the activity, we will make the plane turn to the left and the right, as well as pitching up and down. The first step is to make a simple paper airplane and get it to fly straight. Next, cut a rudder and ailerons into the plane with a pair of scissors. You should be able to bend the paper in different directions in order to manipulate the control surfaces. Then try and get the plane to fly to the right. Next, try and get the plane to fly to the left. Finally, see if you can get the plane to pitch up immediately after throwing it. You can also try and do multiple changes at once to see if you can combine the effects. Hopefully, you've learned about the basic ways in which airplanes are controlled. By changing the control surfaces, you can make a plane fly in any direction that you want. I encourage you to keep trying new things and discover what other full flight patterns you can get your plane to perform.